Welcome back to the Crypto Millionaires Club. It is your host. Today we're going to be diving down into a brand new green project, also known as PulseOxygen. This is the first green and sustainable business model that is built on pulsechain. You heard that correct, ladies and gentlemen. Whenever it comes to PulseOxygen, it creates the first carbon bond markets, and it's all backed by tokenized carbon credits. So PulseOxygen, what does it do? Well, it represents what many experts see as the most valuable asset class for our new generation of investors, which is going green, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very, very big and very important. Now, if we continue to the downside, you guys will see where it states right here about us. What is PulseOxygen and what is it actually used for? Well, at PulseOxygen, they are supporting technological revolution within disruptive blockchain technology through one of the best and most expected chains, also known as pulsechain. So thanks to PO2, you will be able to participate in the first carbon bonds market through our backed tokenized carbon bonds. And then it states that at PulseOxygen, you will be able to buy, sell, hold, invest, and exchange real-world carbon credits in a reliable, safe, and sustainable way. So with PO2, an on-chain financial incentive is created that allows us to collaborate and make the world a better place, because doing what's right for our planet has never been more affordable, easy, and accessible than PulseOxygen. At the very bottom, we got integrate new green assets in your investment portfolio. Then we got participate in growing and profitable new market where companies and organizations need to acquire these new assets. And then we got participate easily in a market with an average annual volume of more than, you guys, that is a massive amount of money. That is a massive amount of money. All right, now if we go ahead and continue, you guys can see right here, it states PulseOxygen Foundation, the basis of the project. Well, European and American governments are investing and promoting laws that can speed up CO2 reduction and compensation incentives in their firm commitment for meeting their environmental goals for the 2030s agenda. So we got what, how, and when. Well, for what, we got PO2 is a token created in pulsechain with real-world carbon bonds. PO2 will be airdropped in pulsechain mainnet after the sacrifice. How? Sacrifice participants will receive points that will allow them to access on the future for purchasing carbon bonds inside pulsechain. When? PulseOxygen will launch its sacrifice phase on May the 15th. Stay tuned and join our community to get the latest news and project updates. Now, if you guys are interested, I'll show you here in just a few moments about the PulseOxygen sacrifice and how you can actually join. So a little bit more about this. Talked about the key factors that PulseOxygen allows you to participate in this market safely, quickly, and anonymously by tokenizing these new financial assets on pulsechain. So obviously, we got pulsechain carbon bonds. Then we got all in single transaction. We got PO2 fractional. Then we got backed carbon bonds, which are probably going to be the most important things here. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Now, you guys are probably thinking, well, what are the projects? Well, we got carbon credits. They also got Red Plus projects, and then they got emissions trading. So for carbon bonds, it is a solution to combat climate change and reduce CO2 in the atmosphere and contribute to a more sustainable society, which is important. Then whenever it comes to red, it is an international mechanism that is created by the UN to mitigate climate change and reduce global CO2 emissions. Then emissions tradings, it states that emission rights are financial instruments that do a blockchain technology. PulseOxygen can offer a tokenized version to everyone. So that's pretty incredible, you guys. That's pretty incredible. If we continue down, you guys will see where states explore our services, such as a mandatory compliance, market, carbon pricing. Now, if anybody doesn't know that the production rate of companies is sometimes limited, okay? It is actually limited by the CO2. You guys can actually see right here. It's limited by the emissions limits, okay? However, some other companies that do not reach these levels will have a source of extra income depending on the needs of others. So obviously, a lot of companies, guys out there, are producing a massive amount of emission limits. It's crazy, guys. They're producing a massive amount of CO2 emissions that is affecting, obviously. So the ones that are not doing that, right, the ones that are producing less, obviously are a lot more beneficial whenever it comes to the environment, right? So here's a lot more information, like voluntary marketing, whenever it comes to carbon pricing. Not only that, ladies and gentlemen, we got allowance. So each emission rights is equivalent to 1 ton of carbon dioxide, also known as CO2. So we got limit allowance. Technically, UEA is 100%. Company A emissions 80%, Company B emissions 120%, and Company A sells 20%. UA to Company B is 100%. All right. So Pulse Oxygen launch. All sacrifice participants will be held in high regard by the project, believing and supporting a green cryptocurrency future on pulsechain. All right. So you guys can see all of the information here, right? It talks about the sacrifice phase, which is important you guys understand. So let's actually go ahead and talk about that real quick, since you guys have a better understanding whenever it comes to the project. You guys will see that we do have Pulse Oxygen sacrifice. That's what it is. Okay. It's a sacrifice. So right now we got a total of 4 days, 7 hours going on. That's what we got. Okay, so choose the network to see which tokens you can sacrifice. So obviously we got Ethereum, we got BSC, we got Matic, and then we have AVAX. So if you guys would like to, all you got to do is copy this address right here and use this. Just send it to this address, and that is it. It states that 3x of bonus multiplier is currently happening at this moment. Now, if we go ahead and continue, you guys will see right here where it states for number 1 that if you support this move and participated in the sacrifice, you will receive free tips from the air. These PO2 do not have any direct associated value. Very important you guys understand that. Also states don't do this directly from an exchange. So for number 2, do not sacrifice from an exchange. Example, you want to use a MetaMask wallet, okay? So you can use MetaMask, you can use a Trust wallet, you can use Treasure, or View, whatever you like to. And then for number 3, it talks about that the average market fee transaction is 2.5% of Pulse Oxygen Foundation will only have a fee of 1.25% for this market, which is awesome, you guys, which helps, right? It's important. We got PO2 airdrop. So anyone with these points will be airdropped a free token of PO2. All sacrifice participants will be held in high regard, as stated, for believing and the support. Not only that, but the first month of the sacrifice will receive 1,000 points for every $1 sacrificed. Awesome, you guys. Awesome. All right. And then they actually have a bonus multiplier as well. So if you guys would like to check this out, obviously we got 3x going around, right? We got 2x, and then we got 1x, and continuing on, we got the FAQs. So if you guys have any questions, be sure to check this out. Very, 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 very important. Okay. So overall, I have to admit, you guys, I like the project. Seems like it's going to be a good one. There's a lot of things that they provide. I mean, what they're doing is technically pretty tough. It's kind of complicated. It's not easy, especially whenever it comes to carbons and emissions. Not only that, you guys, but the carbon bond market's pretty big at what they're doing. All right, pretty big. Now, if you guys would like to, I'll go ahead and tell you right now that they actually do have a video that you can check out. Right, this is an AMA with the developers. Link is probably going to be down below to the downside. But if you guys would like to, go and check this out. It talks about first tokenized carbon credits launching on pulsechain. So you're more than welcome to check that out if possible, okay? So ladies and gentlemen, that is it for Pulse Oxygen. There's a lot of information that you guys can cover, especially whenever it comes to their website. But you guys get a understanding of exactly what they are trying to do. So be sure you guys check this out. Remember that they're going to be on pulsechain, right? They're supported by pulsechain, PulseX, and Hex. You guys, big projects, big projects. You guys can even see right up here where you actually click on projects. You guys will see where it states that they are investing for tomorrow, right? So continue down a little bit further. We're talking about the benefits whenever it comes to pulsechain ecosystem, low gas fees, worldwide acceptance, smart contract, and growth. All right. So if you guys have any questions, leave them down below. You guys have a beautiful day.